Haters, I'm the laziest. So you hear the bars just written down. Be prepared for my new album, Beautiful West Side Waters. So you know, so that's coming. All right, all right. So I'm going to get into the show. Um, Once again, this is MLRose with the Rose Room discussion. This show is based on entertainment purposes. All views and points talked about on this show are from a theoretical, knowledgeable, and experienced point of view. So viewer discretion is advised. Once again, um, all copyrights are reserved by my company, Intelligent Sounds. And I'm going to start this show with that right then and there. So, what I'm going to talk about on this Rose Room Discussion podcast show is unknown technologies is the first topic. The second topic is AI, quantum, autonomous technology, tech. The last one is more laws. That's the last topic. More laws just came in. Get into that. See how those all link in. So yeah, um, I was watching a movie recently, and the movie had a lot of energy with it. The energy was pretty much about individuals transferring their subconscious being into autonomous or a android or cybernetic robotic entity. The reason why in the background you're seeing all the images of the robotic entities and things of this nature, because unknown technology. We're knowing that right now the big push is for everyone by the year, I think they said 2026 or 2027, to own one of these type of entities in your home. They will be doing your medical research for you. When you have any illness, sicknesses, or diagnose anything, they'll be the ones to research what you need. They'll be the ones injecting vaccines or any type of, you know, I would say sterile components into your body that would be needed for you to become fully functional and to be in the best of health or shape. They'll be diagnosing you by pretty much reading your temperature, taking your blood, taking your weight. These things will be all done digitally. A doctor will not be needed because with this AI autonomous robot or these beams or this unknown technology that we don't really have a grasp, understanding truly the significant, I guess, underline of where it would stop and keep progressing and getting more intelligent, will have pretty much all means of dictating everything about your life pretty soon. They'll be making your food, they'll be your email, they'll be your voice command on control, authority for your security of your house. They'll also become your phone. They'll pretty much have all access to everything. And you'll pretty much have to sit back and use these type of things to, I guess, pretty much be mobile, or either some people that's not going to be able to walk, they have a robotic unknown technology now that's going to be able to assist you with that. So they'll mobilize you in a wheelchair format, I seen them using some type of robot that was able to transfer a person down and up the stairs that didn't have capabilities, that was paraplegic, that couldn't walk. So it's just letting you see that this stuff is really going to be the new norm. And with technology, it always becomes more advanced and it becomes more advanced and it becomes much more of the norm to where we just pretty much are dependent on it. Dependency is another thing because now that creates another issue because without it, like you can see with the cell phones, when people are dependent on these cell phones, have you ever seen a person drop their cell phone or lose it or put it somewhere and they damn near have a panic attack and they're about to go into a mad rage and they're looking around and like, where's my phone at? Where's my phone? Where's my phone at? What's happening? Where's it at? And then you're like, damn, your phone is right there. And you see how of a frantic person they become over a piece of technology. So, with this being said, with this new technology that's unknown, because this technology will be pretty much the future. And for some people who are not savvy smart on technology, they will be lost and they wouldn't have the comprehension to, you know, to pretty much operate some of this machinery. Um, the kids of this day and era that are the Generation Z, I think, Zen, or I'm not sure if that's the right one to call them. Uh, the Z generation, I think it's G and Z. I think it's these two generations. They're more tech savvy. They're understanding the fast pace of it, right? But like I stated, even to them, some of this technology be will be pretty much unknown. Um, as fast as it's coming, we don't really know the origins of a lot of the technology. One thing I do understand and kind of had a discussion with a family member was about the internet itself. Um, we're not sure why the internet is ran and the actual, you know, the the way that it's transferred is through these long cables that are in the ocean. Um, I always thought to myself, okay, if the internet is ran through the ocean, then what the hell do we need satellites for? So it's just a lot to unravel. Nobody really knows the true essence of why all these things are here. We don't really know where they're coming from. Like I said, unknown technologies are pretty much just coming out faster and faster. And we're pretty much in a daze every time it comes out. And with that said, we're always finding out every 5 years that there's something new. With the cell phone phenomenon, you've seen with all the phones that come out, you get the iPhone, then you get this phone, the iPhone 6, then blah, 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 and that phone. All the other phones become obsolete. But we have all this technology just lying around. Then we have all these batteries that are used, and they're like different types of formats that are pretty much harmful. And they have chemicals. We don't never ask where do these actual things go at the you know end of their expiration date. And with these unknown technologies, there's always some kind of how can I say this variable that will come back and haunt us in the later years. We're seeing with a lot of computers, it had mercury um, when they were pretty much being disposed of in the wrong, ill proper manner, they cause a lot of damage. So they had to get actual companies, and just like other products sometimes that have these type of electronical items in there, they have different formats of how can I say this, materials that are pretty much used in chemicals that are not not too good of an idea to have around children or just human populations for a long period of time, because the exposure can cause cancers or other things of that nature. And with these technologies, what's going to happen when they decide to use them? So, yes, the internet is actually ran through the ocean itself. Fiber optic cables are used for miles and miles and miles. So, what is the outcome of that in the ocean? Like I said, with this unknown technology, we're seeing now that a lot of animal life showing that a lot of animals are washing up. Now, let's think about this. Have you ever ran your computer for a long period of time and the fan comes on and it gets hot due to it being set on for a long periods of time, and you just, just browsing the web, and has it cool off? Now think about this. If fiber optic cables are being ran through the ocean itself, and imagine all the people across this planet are using it at vast amounts of time. Do you think that there's a system set up to also cool those actual cables off? Or is the ocean being used to cool them off? And could those effects be actually causing damage to mammals and wildlife? Has anybody ever pondered that? So, with great responsibility, well, you already know that, you have great power involved, and great power, like Spider Man, well, Stan Lee, rest in peace. Spider Man character always said, with great power comes great responsibility. So, with responsibility, you have power. And with that power, it's up to you to use it in the best way to manifest the best results. And as you can see, we don't really know what are the results of them running these fiber optic cables through the ocean for these periods of time. And all the people across the world from every continent at one time are now on the internet. Remember, the internet is one of the most fastest growing pieces of technology that we have. It's still unknown because the cyber universe is as big as the actual universe itself. It's a continuum. It never stops because mathematics are pretty much the foundation of existence. When you look at your height, it's mathematics. When you look at your weight, it's mathematics. When you look at your date of birth, it's a mathematic. When you look at your date when you are brought into this planet, you are brought in on a date, a time, a minute, and that date and time then pretty much dictates your growth throughout life. And it's calculated every year to give you another add on. So that's a mathematic. As you look, when you get older, you start to break down. Your weight gets less. You lose muscle mass. That's mathematics. Um, your body changes structurally, which is a complex mathematic also. Um, all these things are unknown to us as mankind, but as we use these type of different cybernetic functions and technology, and we get into vast amounts of, how can I state this, of physics are either mathematical equations, we start to learn variables that can teach us how to counter certain things. Just like a calculation, if an asteroid was coming towards the planet, they can calculate the date, the time by the vast amount of the movement, the mass of the actual entity itself, the projection of how far it is from us, and then they can determine what would be the best strategy to knock it away from our planet. So that's mathematics. The stars themselves are counted out, mathematics. Each astrological sign has a mathematic to it. People are connected on the same day as the astrological signs, and due to the fact of the rising and the falling of the sun, the moon, um, the significant, um, how can I say, the designated movement of the earth, where it's stationed at that time, what planet is in the same, I guess I would say, alignment with it. So we're looking at different things. Everything is mathematics. So without mathematics, you really don't have a lot. You see, you have words, but even words themselves are calculated because when you talk in a speech, your words can be counted on how many words you use to get across your point. They say most geniuses can come with something in a moment. They think very quicker than other individuals and have a faster perception or faster um, premises of thought than other people. They can evaluate something within a few minutes and then have a solution. So we're living in a whole existence. Some people say we live in a matrix. I don't know about that. I'm not a person to state that. Like I said, I believe in a different religion. I believe in the creator of all life. And even with that, there's a date and time for the Messiah to come back on a certain date, a certain time that nobody knows. You won't know the day. You won't know the moment. You won't know the hour. You won't know the minute. So you don't know. And with that said, also too, um, everything we pretty much have in this existence is mathematic. You look at the time and the date for which the sun goes up and then the sun goes down. The moon comes out. It gets brighter at a certain time. At certain times you can see it. It's dim, but at a certain time you can see it at its full illumination. So yeah, we're in a place where technology is unknown to us. We're using it, but we don't really know what is going to be the outcome of using these type of technologies. Different technologies can help us, but at the same time, they can turn around and be our Achilles heel. And if you know what that means, because Achilles was the individual that was shot in that part that had a long run, which he went around killing and murdering people, but they could not find a way to break him down or harm him. So they aimed a shot at its heel. And when it hit the heel, it pretty much bled out Achilles and he pretty much was done. So that's what that whole, scenario or saying comes from. But anyway, yes, unknown technologies are here. With unknown technologies, we can do multiple different things now. We can figure out how to make grains become much more stronger by increasing the actual density of the seed itself, by making it much more, how can I say this, sturdier. It can withstand more elements. They can add more different types of attributes to it to make it grow in any type of different soil. It can be used now to where they're injecting actual, you know, different proteins into it or other stuff that will allow it now to use utilize any type of soil, whether it's sand, dirt, um, mush, or either how can I state this? Swamp type of areas, mosh, well, mospis, mos, mos. I can't, I didn't pronounce that right. Mosh. I think I'm saying that wrong. Areas where it's like plains, where it's like swampy. You know what I mean? Those type of areas too. Um, and this is being done already in China. I guess they made a seed that's able to grow a plant in any type of area. So it's letting you see that these unknown technologies have vast abilities to be complex and keep growing. But what happens when they outgrow us? What happens when they take over and we don't know a solution to how to slow it down? What happens to where we make something so good to where now that entity becomes a problematic tool to destroy us? Um, have you seen the technology where they're saying now that plants are starting to communicate with each other due to the frequencies being so high? Because they're saying now that since we're using 5G and all these other frequencies, the plants now are trying to fight off these different frequencies, and they're trying to find ways to eliminate. You notice that now during the summer times that we have here in the U.S., there's more trees that are pollinating, male trees, than there are female trees. And pollen is a really harmful thing to humans. Too much of it, it can cause allergic shock, allergic allergies, rashes, breakouts. And the trees themselves, every year, their DNA encoding, they pick up new formats to fight against, things that cause it issues or illnesses, and they become potent, just like vaccines, as we've seen with the last run of viruses that have affected everybody in our society. It was a big issue, and those issues caused problems for a long time. And you see how many people were then, affected by it, and the virus itself became stronger and stronger because the technology that was used to give to people in these new type of vaccines um, changed the structure of our, coding. And when you give somebody in something into their body, and their body becomes immune to it, your body builds a stronger um, defense against it. And then some people, they don't build a defense; they become weaker, and they become immune, and they fall apart. But like I said, these trees, with the technology that's used, that has advanced them, it has created more male trees, and we have vast amounts of pollen all over the place now. Um, I know everybody's been seeing this brown stuff and all this other stuff, and these are like from trees and dust storms, and it's just a lot of stuff going on. Fog that's coming with particles, and it, the planet itself also evolves, and it has unknown built-in technologies that we don't understand. And these are things that are by Earth's vibration, because, like I stated, this planet has been there way before we haven't even existed long enough to even have a mere true understanding to comprehend what this planet really is. And itself is a technology or an unknown entity itself. And it has different types of defenses that have pretty much to me have wiped out mankind multiple times. Um, Technology is a good thing, but like I said, it's good when it's pretty much given in a portion, a set portion, small portions. You know, it's good to take baby steps when you're learning something new. You don't want to just rush in like a crazed person that's not thinking and just not know what you're really doing. And then all of a sudden find out that you have overwhelmed yourself in something that you can't get out of. Um, we see animals, bugs, even themselves. We have learned now that there's spiders that have now adapted to swimming in the ocean. We have seen now there's spiders that now are flying more. We have seen now that there are spiders themselves that hunt in the ocean, these technologies, and in lakes and ponds. For instance, the bell spider. If you don't know what the bell spider is, look it up. Everything evolves with this technology and information that is given to us mathematically, and it's just the time and date for each species or each person or each entity or each piece of information to just evolve to a greater purpose. With that said, unknown technologies are not a bad thing. It's not a super good thing, but it's something that we should always take proper precaution on when using or learning something to not overwhelm ourselves or to not overdo it or to overuse it. You see what I mean? Because, like I stated before, with these cell phones and the technology that came in when they were made for us or given to us, because they said that the cell phones have been here ever since the time of the Egyptians or the Sumerians, or probably even farther back to the Anunnaki. And it could go back farther than that because they're seen and depicted in pictures and hieroglyphs that are on the actual walls of Egypt. So we don't really know 100%. But like I said, every year there's a new phone. What happens to the older versions of the other phones? And we know that there's places, stations, and stores that you can bring your phone and recycle it, but most people don't really do that. So there's tons of phones with batteries that have different types of chemicals in them just sitting around from technology that is of the past. And just like what happened in past history events, there were technologies left over from those eras of human beings or races. And some of it was good, some of it was bad, some of it was unknown, some of it was not used, some of it was put away for a purpose, but it could be unearthed again. And with that said, I'm going to get into my next topic, which is AI quantum autonomous technology or tech. I'm going to leave you with another slapper real quick. I'm going to come back, get on that topic, and just think about that for a moment. Just truly think about that. 'Cause that's something that can wake your mind up and can bring some new light to certain things, you know?
From now on, don't nobody talk to me directly. You understand? I'm living on the edge. I'm living on the edge. I'm living on the edge.
All right, this is MLRose with the Rose Room discussion. And now's a quick slapper slumper break. One of my tracks, Living on the Edge. That's on my album, Super MLR Rose. Pick that EP up if you want to. Songs are only 25 cents. Yes. I'm back with the second topic. The second topic I'm going to talk about is AI quantum autonomous tech or technology itself. Now, I was saying that the reason why I have those images on my show right now being shown in the background of the autonomous robots, um, when our first topic was talking about the technology unknown, right, being used. I seen a movie called Electric. I think it's called Electric. Um, something. I think it's called Electric. I'm not sure 100%. What is the name of the movie? Let me go back and see. I'm going to go back and try to scroll it up right now and pull it up on one of these accounts that I have. But I watched it. But for a long story short, the movie was about a young boy. Oh, Electric State. That's what it was called. Electric State. It was about a young child who was born with a gift, who had a brain. I guess I'm not sure if he had his brain was a little bit different from other brains. I think he was born with an extra um how can I state this? What is those things called again? A membrane or something like that? So he had more thought process than others. So when he was sick, they discovered this during a time where they were having a issue with autonomous robots, which were AI quantum robots who now had a conscience. They were now autonomous beings that did not need any type of um, processing by a human being. They did not need to be told which way to go. They did not need to get orders. They knew exactly what to do. They were pretty much conscious. They knew exactly who they were, what their capabilities were. They were pretty much like what we would call transformers. So, with that being said, the movie is really deep. Um, Subliminal messages are in there too, also. But if you look into the movie, don't look at it just for the purpose of. It's a good movie to watch because it has like it's fun for family, sit down or just something to watch by yourself or anybody else. But other than that, the movie had a deep concept, and that concept to me was they took the subconscious of a human being, they took his brain, they added wiring to it, and was able to transfer his consciousness into an autonomous robot, which was able to walk around and do the things that he was able to do and use the same technology and had the same smarts and mind frame and knew what to do and who to talk to and where to go and all these different things. And when I looked at it, I was like, wow, that's deep. And I'm noticing that we've seen a lot of these movies with a lot of stuff with um, androids, robots. They got the Megan. I know I'm not sure some people seen that Megan movie where the little girl is a robot and she chases the people. And before that, we had a bunch of different movies with robots. And these things are telling me like, hmm, these technologies were also available in times previous to us. Because according to scientists and studies of technology from the Anunnaki or from the Sumerians, they also merged in scientific different you know procedures to create new types of life forms, which took a vast amount of calculation intelligence, and it took a comprehension of mathematics beyond what we even have today. Because if they were mixing and slicing what they're just doing now, which I feel like we're coming into that age again, which this could be also the uplifting of mankind, but also could be another downfall of mankind. When we look at these different groups, like I would say, the people that are from the area in Bolivia, we look at that group, we see there was a problem there. We look at the other groups that were in Chile, we look at the other groups that were in other villages that were somehow disappeared after a certain amount of time because of certain events that we have no clue about. We look at those areas that may or may have not been the places where Atlantis was at, which was also a thriving place for individuals who had vast amounts of different applications they use that are of higher technology and were autonomous, pretty much AI quantum powered. And one of the theories I did come up to my relative and talk about was I said, hey, if Atlantis was sunk into the ocean, and this had supposed to have been one of the most advanced civilizations because they said that people that were Sumerians, people that were Anunnaki, people that were Egyptian, they had all the cultures supposedly there. And somehow they were able to, and these were not the actual first Anunnaki or the first Sumerians. These were like the second, third, fourth, or fifth generations that grew up later on and were children of other children of children's, and then they became adults, but they came from that bloodline. And then they were able to come to a place called Atlantis, where it was for multiple different groups of people, racial groups, right? Just like how you have here in the United States. You see people come from Africa, people come from Asia, they come from Europe, they come from South America, they come from the Middle East, but they all come to the United States, right? So now you have multiple different groups of people that have different thinking processes, that have different cultures, that have different awareness, that have different attributes, skill sets, and then they come together and create different type of technologies, but they also feed off each other to create things that are beyond what they had in their homelands, even beyond here. Because when you have a bunch of people that are all smart in one room, now they can dictate and have a faster approach or a better approach to solving certain things that could not be solved by one scientist themselves or one intelligent inventor themselves, because now they have a vast amount of people that can be a think tank for them. So with that said, I said, hmm, if those fiber optic cables are running in the ocean, how do we know that they did not find Atlantis and just tap into some information or some stuff that was already there and not using that same type of, you know, format to create what we have now called the internet? Now, this is just a theory. This is not something that's based on any truth, no fact. I don't have no evidence of it. I'm just saying, if Atlantis itself was in the ocean, the fiber optics themselves are ran through the ocean, where is the actual energy for the internet coming from? Does anybody know this? No, we don't know. So that's why I want to tie you back to when I said unknown technology. So now we have quantum AI, an efficient engine that is self sustainable when it comes to getting vast amounts of information at a fast pace. It needs no help, it needs no um, person to show it. It can pull up information quickly. We have the metaverse, we have Siri, we have so forth and so on. All these different things, right? They're able to pretty much give you something in just a nick of a second. They're just fast. But at the same time, these actual entities are beings, are, how can I state this, technology itself that is self reliable and self building and self educating, is learning about human beings and their technology and their flaws and their information and their voice patterns and their command patterns and their prompts and their pretty much standard way of lifestyle, and can then dictate and calculate your next move, which would implicate why, when you yourself are thinking about something, because now I heard this too also, um, the 5G and the 4G and all these other things, they said that they have a technology that has the ability to pretty much clone your brain waves or pretty much can mimic certain type of like I said on my last show, electromagnetic pulsations that go through your brain, um, that transfer information and thought. It's the things that for your nerves, for you, the decision making, like when you about to urinate, something in your body tells you that really quick. You get a like a it's a clock, inner clock. How you would state this as your alarm clock. It gives you that piece of format really quick. Like you see it, it'll pop up real fast. Like it's a prompt. Boom. I gotta urinate. Boom. I gotta take a number two. Boom. I gotta, you know, lay back down. I'm tired. Boom. I'm sleepy. It just gives you these detailed information. It's a built-in system. It's already a database within you, through your genomes and through your actual DNA itself, right? Your brain is processing stuff because you can't stay up for 4 days in a row without getting any sleep. It's going to tell you you need sleep. It's going to tell you I need rest. I need to rejuvenate. It's just going to give you these signals. So these signals now are being used in a way to infiltrate people's minds through database, right? So that's why they said like, oh, sometimes I'm looking at, you know, TV and I'll be like, ah, man, I want a burger from Wendy's, and all of a sudden it pops up. Like, look at the Wendy's new burger. And it's popped up as chicken. And you're like, wow, I just thought about something like that. And you see what I mean? These AI quantum technologies are becoming so advanced. We don't really know the means of their advancement and how far beyond us they really are. We are now bringing in the Android type autonomous robotic um, mandroids or androids, or you would see them as cybernetic beings, or you know entities that walk around on command, that work for us and do things. And as they progress, um, we see how fast their learning abilities are. I seen one that was damn near so good it can mimic people's steps to a T. Like there was a girl and a guy, and they were doing dance steps, and it was moving with them and dancing and giggling. I was like, man, I want to get one of those too, because I want to sit here and have a dance party with this little thing and jump off and have some fun in the house, and But at the same time, when that thing is doing that, what is it also learning about you? Is it picking up your traits? Is it picking up your body temperature? Is it seeing your fluctuation in your energy when you're doing certain things? Is it picking up on when you're not doing certain things and how your energy pulsates? Is it doing all these different type of, you know, analytical analyzing of you to get a better format of what you are? And then with that said, also too, as these things evolve and advance, just like how we've seen Transformers, what will happen? Will they become the new Transformers? Are these movies that we're watching with the Transformers, are these cartoon shows that we're watching with the Transformers, is this actually what these things evolve to later on? Is this what we will evolve to later on? You know, will there be good parts of us using this technology for good? Will there be bad parts of us using it for bad? Will there be some of us who's using this technology just to help out our people or create a better platform to get into a better position to gain more stability? Will these things be looked at as saviors? Will these things be worship? Will these things be the new way of, since human life can't sustain on this earth for a long time, will this be the new way to live by transferring your technology of your whole soul, spirit, and your essence and your subconsciousness into a actual autonomous Android AI meta robot? Will we become the Decepticons? Will some of us become the Predacons? I know it sounds funny. I know it sounds crazy, but just thinking about the movie I just said that I just seen, the child subconscious was transferred into an actual autonomous robot. And with that being said, when it was transferred, the child was able to mimic, do the same things as a human almost, had the same needs, but didn't hunger, didn't get tired, just needed to recharge, and was able to calculate faster and give directions and information. And on the movie, it was one robot that was able to link itself to another robots, and then other robots was able to change their parts, and you see what I mean, and take parts from other robots and build in, and looking at the Transformers. I think their last movie was um Rise of the Beast, or Beast Wars, or something like that, where one was like, I guess they were being prehistoric Transformers, and the other ones were modern day Transformers. And it just was showing me the one Scourge that came from another planet, which was a planet that was Unicron. It was really deep, and that's why I'm saying to you, these images that I'm showing to you. Will some mankind lose their mind with these autonomous AI quantum technologies that we learn? Will they want to transfer themselves into large robotic entities and start to rule over other people? Will this be another saga of what we've seen with the giants? Remember, of renown, man of renown? They had giants, right? Who's to say in the future they won't be giant fucking robot people running around here with subconscious like a human, but a damn autonomous being that can't be destroyed and can keep transferring his subconscious into another being, robot, and keep going over and over. Isn't that the same thing of possession? Think about that. When people tell you that a person is demonically possessed, they're saying that a entity jumped into that person's body. Now, think about this. The AI quantum technology allows for an actual robotic entity that you cannot see in the flesh to transfer its knowledge, its information, itself into another robotic being, or into a computer or anything else to gain technology and information. And remember, they had one robot recently that told a bunch of other robots to go home. Now just think about this. How the hell did this robot have the knowledge or information on how to give other robots orders and tell them to stop working and go home? What's to say that we are not looking at the first robot that has become pretty much self aware? You see what I mean? What happens when we have to fight these robots? Because in that movie, it was the same thing. They had to actually fight the robots. So they had to put their subconscious minds into a robot itself to fight the robots. And doing so, some people was pretty much lost and stunned mentally and spent their whole life as a damn robot. They didn't even care about their own human body. They were so much lost in bliss because this unknown technology can rock you to sleep. It can be harmful for you or it can be good for you. It can help you or it can pretty much destroy you. We are, like I said, we're reliant on these phones and cell phones. And even with the cell phones now, they're introducing Meta. They're introducing Siri. You can talk to an actual entity on your phone that you have no clue who it is. You don't know who the hell you're talking to. But you're sitting here talking to somebody like you're talking to your damn self, and you're talking to a fucking robot that has no subconscious, that you cannot see in existence. You don't even know what this thing is, but you're willing to give all your data and information to it, and it's storing it. For what purpose, we don't know. We don't know if these things are actually calculating all humankind and finding out every weakness of every human. We don't know if they're gathering it to pretty much build a place to where they can clone humans based upon the knowledge and information that they have gathered through all the separate interactions with each human being on this planet. We have no clue. And we don't know if the robots will force us to transfer our subconscious into entities. Like I said, we become, in my scenario, the next Transformers. We are the Megatrons. We are the Galvatrons running around here with big blasters on our arms. We are the Sharkticons in the ocean chasing each other, shooting at each other, running around here taking land from each other. Because when mankind gets technology, what does mankind do? They want to conquer and rule. They want to show that they're tough. And don't give um, men with a cave mind type of mindset technology that is vast and unstoppable and the means to destroy. Because what will they do? Like they always do, like you see now. They grab their little tanks, missiles, guns, and they want to conquer and they want to conquest. And what happens with that? It starts war. See what I mean? So, what's going to be the next situation that we're dealing with these autonomous AI quantum technologies? We do not know. We have no clue of what we're going to get into because we're walking into an unknown territory with technology that could be from the past. It could be entities. We could be allowing unclean spirits, unclean beings. We could be allowing demons, devils to interact. Because, like I said, if this child in a movie was able to have a doctor transfer his subconscious soul into a being, what's to say that they can't take entities or bring people back and transfer them? I know people heard that they found the grave of a bunch of different biblical people, and one of them being Gilgamesh, and the other one being Nimrod. So who's to say that they won't bring them back to a certain portion? They're already, like I said on my last one of my other shows, taking embryos and making designer babies, which pretty much are born inside of a capsule that is of a quantum AI machine that has fed things into its DNA as an embryo to grow it into a whole different designer entity itself. So, are we looking at us becoming the next cyberpunk? People running around here with extensions on their arms, with guns that they can take off. Um, this is deep. I'm not. I'm just telling you to think. Sometimes you got to think outside of the box. Sometimes you got to look at things, and sometimes they're right in front of your face, and you don't really see the whole true narrative until you just think a little bit and say, that could be possible." Because there's no way to stop mankind's imagination and their gifts from expanding. Like I said, the next generation, they're pretty much already dependent on these type of um, electrical devices. These kids are raised on them. Remember, they're not like our generation who had to write cursive with a pencil. They're doing everything with an actual tablet that gives them technology information right away. Their thought process is way quicker than ours. They're analyzing things on a vast scale that is beyond our comprehension. Their minds stay to invent due to their creativity of watching all these digital cartoons and things of this nature, could be beyond ours. They could be the solution to clean up this whole planet and make a whole new planet, or create a planet that is so diverse and so vast of knowledge and technology and of clean, efficient energy that we couldn't even understand. We don't know, or they could be pretty much the next Transformers. With that said, that was my second topic. I'm going to get into my last topic, and that is more laws, which is going to be another issue. Um, because with these laws that's coming in, it's going to bring in a lot of different stuff. So, with that said, let me leave you with a slapper slumper. Again, something to listen to. And once again, this is MLRose from the Rose Room Discussion. All rights reserved by trademark Intelligent Sounds. All right, all right. Once again, this is the MLR Rose Room Discussion, hosted by me, MLR Rose. All rights reserved by trademark Intelligent Sounds. So, I talked about unknown technology. I talked about AI, quantum, autonomous tech itself, and how the technology can be good for us or can be harmful. It can lead us into a better society or can lead us into a chaotic society or can lead us into a conquest of mankind doing what they do best, warring and feuding against each other, trying to reach the higher goal of having the best over each other. Because, when you have a pissing party with a bunch of men, each one is going to tell you how bigger they are than the other one and how far they can piss and who's better at it. This is what our society is pretty much based upon. And I'm going to break down some things to you about the laws of robots thus far. So the laws are as follow: a robot may not injure a human being or through interaction allow a human being to come to harm. That's one law. The second law: a robot must obey orders given by human beings except where such orders would conflict with the first law. A robot must protect. So now, with the laws that are happening, we're knowing that the government has the right for martial law. We're seeing that the government has the right to shut down things. We're seeing a bunch of things right now in America being shut down. We're seeing companies being shut down. We're seeing certain agencies within the government being shut down. We're seeing a lot of parameters being used to dictate what people can and cannot do. We're seeing that these things can happen at any time. We're seeing also too that the government has different type of robotic programs put together. Now, certain countries themselves now are using robots to enforce laws. Excuse me. And with those laws being enforced, we just heard the first rule that a robot cannot hurt a human, has to obey a human. Now, an exception to where the human that they're protecting and obeying comes into harm. So, if there are certain commands given to a robot that is escorting a certain individual, that individual can then now dictate that they want harm to happen to those who are trying to engage or cause any type of, you know, attack upon them. And what's to say that the government does not have a bunch of what we would call autonomous robots with weapons and guns that have body armor that are unstoppable because we've seen these type of same scenarios play out in multiple movies. We've seen these things play out in different cartoons. We've seen these things play out right now in society where the technology now is becoming, like I said, autonomous, where there's not a single soldier on a battlefield, but they're using these type of robotics from a distance in a special bunker where they can use a computer and give commands and shoot all kinds of different assault weapons or missiles at another group and engage in war with them. And this is a reality that we live in. And this reality has different type of catastrophic events that could take place. And these events, once again, can be to harm us or could be to, you know, cause mass destruction. You know, who's to say that one of these AIs or these type of entities, once again, like we always see in the movie, doesn't get a hold of the nuclear codes? We don't know. Who's to say that they won't try to wipe out all mankind? And with the laws being turned and twisted every day to where the government itself is protected by the highest technology, which they can tap your phone, they can tap into um your computers, they can tap into your actual surveillance system of your homes, they can tap into multiple different things. Um, they can use these things against you. And with the laws being turned now, you see that they're also pretty much implicating these rules into the phone companies. I heard it was an update on the phone to which now, if you accept this update, you allow them to pretty much go through your phone digitally without you even knowing. And the consent is based upon you allowing this update. So there's a lot of different things out here about the laws. And as we can see, the new laws that are coming into play, as we one of them being segregation. Um, some segregation laws which are overturned recently in the United States that allow others to dictate now whether or not they want you on their land or property or to service you. And who's to say they don't have database when you come into these places And if these people decide not to serve you, they can keep you in a database and label you a, you know, tyrant, a terrorist, a criminal, and keep you on the file to then make you a public enemy. You know, these laws are vital because they dictate a lot of things around us. The laws themselves are calculated, they are numbered, they are done at certain times in society when there's civil unrest. They are done also at certain times when there's no unrest and there's comfortableness and peace. They are done to protect us, and they're also done to dictate what we can and cannot think and do sometimes or limit us. So the laws themselves are numbered, and there's millions of laws. There's laws that don't even implicate anything that is happening in this day and time, but are placed there in case these things do happen and are implicated when it does happen. So we are pretty much looking at everything changing in just a moments of time without any type of you know, heads up being given. And with the president, he's just coming in, like I said, he's doing what he feels like is right. Some people would disagree, some people would not disagree. Some people feel like it's a good thing, some people don't. Um, like I said, the laws themselves are what dictates them to use these type of technologies that are unknown to them because they don't know if these things themselves are gathering information upon them. They don't know if these type of entities that are quantum AI, autonomous beings, are learning about them and how they operate in a manner which is not a good manner, and then can determine based upon that to exterminate all human life. So, like I said to you, these things are always implicated to put a better perspective for everyone to obey and follow because it's a ruling, and the ruling itself dictates now whether or not you can breathe air without paying money, or you have to pay money to breathe air at a certain time because now it's a law and they made it a law because due to them stating that, the air quality is no good and multiple people breathing up the good air can cause a problem for other people that can't breathe properly. So you need to pay a certain tax to breathe. These are laws that could be implicated. And like I stated, if they're able to make a law to now create children from embryos and inject them with different types of pieces and small fragments of DNA from other entities and make beings out of these entities from autonomous AI quantum technology, what's to stop them from doing anything else? We don't know because these laws can change at any time. We're seeing a law that has not been changed for decades being changed now with segregation. We're seeing laws that have stood the testament of time being overturned for the sake of humanity. We're seeing that everything is timed and is done for a purpose, a achievement, a goal, or even to dictate what's going to happen for us in the future. We are living in a time to where it is very unhinged. We don't know what can happen, when it can happen, how it can happen. And most people are looking at things as if it's just here today, gone tomorrow type of a mindset. Like I said to you, these phones that we had 5 years ago, they're not around no more. We live in a microwave mind society, a microwave movement society. These waves are used to dictate our thought process, our body patterns. They give us these type of connections to the worldwide internet. They give us connections to other unknown robotics that are pretty much probing us at the same time. Because some people will say now they're putting nanobots in the air and we are inhaling them, and that this generation is nothing more but an experiment. And they're looking at us and seeing how these things, these waves, can dictate our patterns and dictate our whole concept, our way of life, and place it in a category to keep each one of us in check. With that said, laws are here for a purpose. Laws are made for a reason, but some laws are prohibited for a good purpose, and some laws are prohibited for a purpose that is not really justifiable to any of us. Sometimes these laws need to be broken, sometimes they need to be obeyed. And with that said, it is up to you to make the right and intelligent decision on whether or not you feel that those laws are implicated to target or to either prohibit you from moving forward in life or your endeavors themselves. Because I believe, like I stated, these unknown technologies that we're using have consequences. And when consequences come into play, you're dealing with forces that are cosmic, that are of higher powers, that are unseen, that are in higher places, that can dictate and give you information, but can also manipulate you and misuse you and lead you into a path of destruction. So we're living in a time to where everything is really, really moving at the speed of light. So just contemplate on things sometimes and really sit back and enjoy it, because you don't know. The government could be coming to snatch everybody up and turn us all into robots pretty soon. Or could be taking people to take their subconscious and place them into entities for experiments. Who knows? With this day and age, we're pretty much in a vast worldwide web of deceit and unfamiliar territory of technology that keeps expanding around us. And with that, I want to thank you for tuning into the Rose Room podcast, hosted by me, MLRose, all rights reserved by Intelligent Sounds. I hope you enjoy my topics. And please feel free to look up the things I stated because they are there on the World Wide Web. Everything I talk about is for entertainment purposes, from a knowledgeable and a theoretical standpoint, and sometimes experience. And you have the right to search the web because everything is at the freedom of your fingertips and do your research. Once again, I appreciate you tuning in. Have a great and pleasant night or day.